Cash the 10x from last night's video. Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Exactly what I said happened last night. So Nugent-Hopkins ended up passing the puck to Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid shot that kind of counts as an assist to the guy who scored, which was Evan Bouchard. That fills up the assist prop for Ryan and filled up a point for Connor McDavid. Then, of course, since Connor McDavid's kind of the GOAT of the NHL, he went on and get another 2 assists to cash us on that. Then simple esports correlation. This first map, I believe, went to OT. I saw it at 11-11 last time I checked, and then they both cleared their lines pretty easily. So beautiful to see here. It's been a while since we hit a 10x, I'll be honest with you guys, but in this month alone, on May 12th, we cashed this 25x. That was from a free YouTube video pick. We also cashed this 10x on this day here 10 days ago. And then, of course, we just cashed another 10x. So in the past 3 weeks, we've hit a 25x and 2 10x's on the channel. Of course, you'd be up in that span. So that puts us up 45 units over those 3 slips alone. So you can see how this method kind of makes sense. You're not going to win every single day. And it's the exact same thing I do in Discord, except even amplified, because I play 6 months into Discord. And I tell people all the time when they're joining and stuff, you're going to have losing days in a row because we're playing these things that kind of hit rarely. But when they hit, you're going to see replenishes all the days. So let's say in November, this is like the first week of the Discord, went down 30.6 units within a 4-day span. But then within the next 3 days, we hit 3 25x's, going up 61.6 units. So if you scale it over those 8 days, you're up 55.1 units. And that happens very often. It's going to happen on the YouTube channel, and it's going to happen in the Discord. Because of the slip types we're playing, we're not playing 2-mans every single day. I would hit a 2-man every day, but I know that is not the way to play Prizepicks because it's mathematically suboptimal. I've proved this in many videos, but I'm not going to get into too much detail there. So I just want to say there will be downturns in gambling. There will be upturns, but in the long run, if you're following this channel, you will be a successful bettor. I'm telling you that right now, and I can absolutely promise you that. So you could see even on the Discord, all these downturns like this. Actually, right now we're in a downturn within the Discord. Hopefully bounce back this week by the end of the week. But just wanted to put that out there, guys. We are gambling at the end of the day. You're going to have good variance and bad variance, but our good variance is going to be much better than our bad variance, putting us up in the long run. There's 2 days left of May. Hopefully we can continue this streak and cash at least another 10x before the month is over. And tonight I'm feeling good about an NHL slip I'm going to go over. And I also have a 4-man NBA. So 2 4-mans for today. Let's start with the NHL because that's what we had success in last night. And I know a lot of you might not care about the NHL, man, but this is a great league to watch. If you guys watched last night's game, Edmonton versus Dallas, that is a great series. This series is also great, Florida versus New York Rangers. And we're going to be taking the same prop we took 2 nights ago, which was the more on the half a goals allowed within the first 10 minutes. Now, I can't show you the last 5 games. They don't have this. But just know that this hit in 3 out of 4 games in the series. It's now tied 2-2. So although these goalies are doing very good, especially Florida's, it's still hockey after all, and goals get scored a lot in this sport. And it did happen 3 out of 4 times in the series. But that's not the reason I'm taking it. It's because the juice is still towards the over here. See, on Bet365, you have this first 10-minute prop. So that's exactly what we have on Prizepicks. To go over the half a goal, it's juiced at -140. And to go under, it's at +100. Again, if I transfer this into numbers for you guys, because it's much easier to understand, -140 on the over, +100 on the under. We got a 53.85% chance that this prop goes over. And on Prizepicks, since it doesn't matter if you're taking over or under, you still get the same payout. Of course, you want to play the side that is more likely to happen. That is how you should be putting every single pick, comparing lines to sportsbooks. So of course, we know the over is the correct play in this case. We don't have to stop there. Since we're on Prizepicks and we could parlay multiple guys within the same entries from the same game, we want to be thinking, if there is a goal allowed in the first 10 minutes, what does that mean? It means it's more likely that someone is scoring, whether it's a New York Ranger or a Florida Panther. So we want to go to the assist prop or the points prop because you could only get an assist or a point if there is a goal, right? So Panarin is who I'm eyeing tonight. Obviously, there's some other players, but I'll show you why I'm taking Panarin specifically in a bit when I go over the juice. Panarin on his over half assist. If he is cashing an assist throughout the game, there's about a 1 in 6 chance that happens within the first 10 minutes because NHL games are 60 minutes. It's 3 periods of 20 minutes. So assuming this does cash in the first 10 minutes and the Rangers are the one that score, Panarin is very likely to be on the end of that goal, and that's exactly what happened last time. We had a similar slip like this. The Rangers scored within the first 10 minutes, and Panarin also cashed his assist for that goal. So you're cashing 2 props for the price of 1 within that same slip. So that is great to see. That's how you always want to be thinking when you're making these. Now, why Panarin instead of Zibanejad or Barkov? Because I like his juice. So if we go over to Panarin on Pinnacle here, you're going to see some juice towards the over. Some very nice one, actually. -125 on the over, -106 on the under. Again, if you don't know what these mean, the higher the minus, the more likely it is to occur. That's all you really have to know. -125 is pretty decent spot, like a 52% chance that he goes over that half assist prop. If you compare this to Barkov, for example, you're going to see the juice is actually on the under. So -122 on the under, -112 on the over. Of course, the under is more likely to happen. We don't really want to throw this in our slip. And the same thing for Zibanejad. He has even more juice towards the under, minus 137 all the way on the under. Honestly, this is a good prop that I would play on its own, but because of the sake of this correlation slip, I don't want to be taking unders on the Rangers. I'm going to be taking overs, and I'm actually going to be pairing Panarin up with another New York Ranger on his points, and that is going to be Adam Fox, and I've explained this in previous videos, but in hockey, a point goes to every second guy who touches the puck. So if Panarin passes to Adam Fox, and Adam Fox passes to someone else, and that someone else scores, well, that is going to be an assist for both of them within the same play. On top of that, for Fox, we're taking points. So if he does score, that also counts as a point because a point is a goal or an assist. So you could even imagine Panarin assisting an Adam Fox goal. Now, Adam Fox is not one of those main scorers on a team. He's a defender. But if that does happen, that's another scenario where they could both cash within the same goal. And if I show you last game, this exact same thing happened all within the first 10 minutes of the game, because I'll show you over here when they lost 3-2 in OT. In the first period, within the first 8 minutes and 51 seconds, you're going to see right here, Vincent Trocheck got the goal, assisted by Panarin and Adam Fox. So within the first 10 minutes last game, all three of these cashed. Do you see how powerful that is? Rather than throwing these guys within different entries, why not throw them all within the same one? Because if one happens, it's likely the second happens, which makes it more likely that the third happens, and you catch a 3 for 3 within the first 10 minutes. How great would that be, right? Obviously, that was a perfect scenario, but you could see that they score on a power play. So if they do get a power play within the first 10 minutes, it's likely that something like this happens again, because these guys are on the main power play unit, and Panarin and Adam Fox do play quite often together. We can show you on this first power play unit. You got Panarin at the right wing and Adam Fox at the right defense. So these guys are playing in triangles together. So exactly what happened last time is probably an Adam Fox pass to Panarin, pass to Trocheck, and Trocheck scored. So you can imagine something similar like that again tonight if they do get a nice power play. Now, it doesn't have to be in the first 10 minutes, but you could see how these guys are correlated together and how that is correlated with this. Obviously, Florida could score in the first 10 minutes and these guys could hit it later within the game. But just to show you that it is possible for all of them to cash together within the same play. Last time I made a similar slip, but instead of Adam Fox, I took Chris Kreider on his points. He's not here tonight, so I'm going to go with Adam Fox. The main reason I'm not liking Adam Fox as much is he doesn't have juice towards the over or the under. Minus 115 on each side, but because we're stacking that up with Panarin and we're stacking that up with a goal within the first 10 minutes, it's still okay to take this because of how strong the correlation is with those two other props. Last time I finished the slip off with Barkov on his over half an assist. I'm not sure if I want to go with that tonight because, again, as I showed you earlier, he did have juice towards the under. It is more correlated with this prop here, but I do like another prop that's kind of correlated, not as much, but still pretty decent. That's going to be Vlad Tarasenko on his over 1.5 shots on goal. He did score last game and actually shot 5 shots, 2 in the previous one. And then the other ones, he shot at least 1. So in 2 out of 4 of the games in this series, he has cleared this line. But I'm going to show you the juice on this specific player. Go to Tarasenko. He does have juice towards the over, minus 128 on the over, minus 103 on the under. That's great to see. And of course, if Florida is shooting and he is clearing this over 1.5 shots on goal, one of those shots could potentially be a goal, but it also will mean that Florida is putting up more shots and potentially on power plays because he is on the second power play unit. I'll show you right down here, Tarasenko up at that right wing. So that's going to allow him to get more shots if there is power plays. And power plays are more opportunities for goals. So especially if the Rangers give a penalty within the first 10 minutes, these two lines could actually clear within that power play, for example. So this is the first slip. It's going to pay 10x. You love to see it. That is going to be the full NHL one. Now I'm going to go over to NBA and make a full NBA one for the second slip. Unfortunately, I don't have any CS2 or Valorant. The games are all early and there's honestly not that much value. So I'm going to stay away from that. But in the NBA, I'm liking a stack with Anthony Edwards on his less 28.5 points and Naz Reid on his over 10.5 points. I'll explain this concept quite often, but normally when you have this 6-man or these role players that kind of go over their points prop, it's less likely that the star is doing good on the team. And I could actually see this perfectly in the past 5 games. Now, I'm not using the past 5 games to actually make these picks, but I just want to show you visually it is easiest to show you guys. It's actually funny. Anthony Edwards' points are actually kind of creeping up. He did clear it last game, but I just want to show you compared to Naz Reid. So Anthony Edwards was red, 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 and then green on this 5th game here. Naz Reid is the complete opposite. So he was green every single game that Anthony Edwards was red, and he was red that one game that Anthony Edwards went green. So simple relationship. Obviously, this is only past 5 games, but this is something that has happened throughout the season and has been happening throughout the playoffs. Normally, I go with Karl Anthony Towns on the under points, but he's been a bit more unpredictable. So I'm going to go with this stack. Now, why am I going with Anthony Edwards under points, Naz Reid over points, rather than the opposite occurrence where Anthony Edwards on the over and Naz Reid on the under? Well, I'm doing this based on juice. So again, I'm going over to Pinnacle and I'm checking Edwards, for example. Under 28.5 points does have juice towards the under. It's not crazy juice, but because of that correlation effect, it's okay to take juice even if it's at like minus 120. It doesn't have to be all the way at minus 135. Now, Naz Reid is the opposite. He does have juice on the over at minus 124. So you have this inverse correlation and you have the fact that Naz Reid's over points is juice and Anthony Edwards. Under is juice. That is great to see when you're stacking these players up. Now, of course, there's some injury news tonight that could affect these lines. Conley is questionable, Doncic is questionable, and Lively is questionable. Of those three players, I think Doncic and Conley will play. I don't see a reason for them not to. Last game, Conley was questionable. He still ended up playing. And honestly, they're down 3-1 in the series. They're in a conference final. I doubt Conley, the vet he is not going to play in the specific game. Same thing for Doncic. Yes, technically they have the leverage because they're up 3-1. But do you really think Doncic is going to sit out, especially in the game where they're not even favored? Minus 200 money line on the Timberwolves. So obviously all these games are going to count. So Doncic will be playing tonight. The one player I could see not playing is Derek Lively. So as crucial as he's been, he's not Luka Doncic, so they're not going to absolutely need him to win this game. That being said, if they get into the finals, they will absolutely need him. So I would think they'd rather rest him for now while they have that leverage on that 3-1 series. If it does go to 3-2, then they might throw him in next game. But for now, I think they could play it safe and just keep Doncic in, throw Derek Lively out. So now what does that mean for my props? I want to be on Gafford's points or point rebounds assists. I just want to be on Gafford in general because of course with Lively out, he doesn't have that second center to replace him, so he's going to get more minutes as we saw last game. But as you could see, they're kind of already pricing in Lively being out. Like I said, I think Lively is going to be out. The sportsbooks also think that because Gafford's point line is set at 10. Normally it's set at 8.5 when Lively is in the lineup, but it's already up 1.5 points. And we see that also on the points plus rebounds. It's normally set at 14.5. It's set at 16.5 tonight. Now, I don't really care. I think it's okay to take at 16.5 because I don't think Lively is going to play. So the bump is warranted from the 14.5 to the 16.5. Now, in my case, I'm actually not going to go with the points plus rebounds. There is juice towards the under on the sportsbooks. Despite the fact that he dropped 20 last game, has hit in the past 4 to 5. You're going to see on Bet365 does have juice towards the under at minus 125. What I like as a better play is actually his points plus assists. I would like to take his points, but I don't like it at the push line. At points plus assists, you're going to see minus 120 juice towards the over. But I wouldn't take this prop alone. I'm going to be stacking it up. But let's find the points plus assists first and grab his over 10.5. Of course, I'm going to be stacking this up with Doncic on his over 8.5 assists, as I always do. And again, I'll show you these graphs for simplicity. In games 1, 3, and 5 of this last 5, Doncic cleared this over 8.5 assists. And you won't be surprised to see that if we go over to the points plus assist prop, Gafford cleared these exact same games, 1, 3, and 5. So obviously these guys have a very strong correlation together. And with Lively out, you're only going to see Gafford getting more minutes and the correlation being even amplified. If we go over to NBA scoring and type in Gafford, 86.4% of his field goals made are going to be assisted. Of course, that's great to see. And it just showed you how strong the correlation is between those players. Again, the reason I'm going points plus assists rather than just points is because he said at 10 at the points mark. Might as well go throw in that extra assist to get the 10.5. He's been getting at least 1 assist in these games rather than not. You can see 1-1 in the past 2. Then he got 0-0, but then he was back to 1-1. You got 3 here, 2 here, 1 here. So I'd rather have the assist on our side. He gets at least 1 assist more often than not. On top of that, he's actually set at 9.5 points on the sportsbook. So again, I don't want that at 10 on Prizepicks. If it's 9.5 on the sportsbook, I want to see some juice towards my prop. And that's exactly what we have on the over 10.5 points plus assists. Now, if we go over to Doncic, he doesn't have like crazy juice towards the over, but he does have a slight lean at minus 118 towards the over, minus 112 on the under. So we want to be stacking that up with Gafford, of course. This is going to be the second sip. Let's keep the streak going.